Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bull, and welcome to our Shadowrun Patreon Shadowrun game. Have you gentlemen decided on a name for your very elfy party?
No, I really
haven't introduced us.
I could not come up with a name.
Alright, it is the Dandelion Eaters. Alright. Pointy-eared bastards. That's what we'll call you. Alright.
That's for short.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my Patreon game. We have Pomeranian, an elven hermetic mage, played by Jeff. Jeff, say hi.
Hi.
We have Cass Wandering Horse, another elven mage. Or no, you're a shaman, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a shaman, but you have no totem. You should have a horse totem.
Right.
You are
Someday.
wandering someday. All right. And then finally we have Chris Marsh, played by Tony, and he is what I like to refer to as a samurai lawyer.
Hey, now I did not buy a katana.
That's okay. That's all right. It's a class type. It's all, you're a warrior type. You're not magical, you're not a rigger, you're not a decker. That kind of makes you a samurai.
Boring.
No, because you're a samurai lawyer. What was your little tagline? Bringing justice to the streets or something like that?
Something like that.
All right. Unfortunately, our previous game, the recording did not work so well, and nobody could hear what I was saying. And while that made for a very interesting game to watch the three players basically play with themselves, in the previous game session, our intrepid runners were hired by Bull the Orc Decker in the Orc Underground, which was an interesting little encounter for them to go venturing down into, since they're all pointy-eared dandelion eaters. And they were hired to basically recover the headwear memory of a data courier, Johnny Mnemonic style. The data courier is a human male named William Smith. He works at Shikakawan Data Solutions. And for my players, that is a slight name change. Although, for those of you with a Japanese Linguasoft, that does translate into Deer Park, which was the name I gave you last week. Apparently, Bull runs an auto Linguasoft, so he just kind of gave you the translated name. He works there. They did a little scouting on his home, and they've made a plan. What was your plan? If you'd like to refresh me.
Did we get that far? I thought we were just going to snatch and grab.
Well, you had rented a van, as I recall. You rented an ice cream van.
We acquired an ice cream van from Bull.
Right. You acquired it. If you damage it, you're buying it. In theory.
We did a quick survey of the facility, saw where their corporate vehicles were, since he doesn't own a car himself. We know that he's going in sometime afternoon to deliver the package. So we hadn't yet decided exactly how, but we do know how to get in and out of his area. So the best plan we had come up with so far was to hit him as he was leaving before he separated paths, and try and take him out with control actions or some such, and grab him before he gets too far from the headquarters.
Okay. And you were told
but nothing was said in stone.
Right. And you were told that that was kind of where we were at last game session. You were told that he was leaving the facility sometime in the morning to early afternoon. You weren't given an exact time frame. You know that was when he was delivering his he was heading over to wherever he was dropping it off. And then you know that whoever your Mr. Johnson ultimately is, Bull was not at liberty to give you a name or anything, is planning to pick up the data from the courier, get the data from the courier's headwear, because he's got a data lock memory system in his head. He was planning. What's that?
I was going to say, we can't just go after the headwear. We have to go after him. Little complication.
Yeah. Well, they prefer not to leave a giant body count if they can help it. No reason to just slaughter.
The first game.
They do.
Well, Anyways, and then you are, and then it's going to be picked up the morning of the next day. So you basically have to get a hold of him and then babysit him for
overnight.
Yeah, overnight. So that is where we
Which
were
we were
at.
going to do at Cass's house, I think.
I don't remember where you guys said you were going to go to. So, unfortunately, I was a little sleepy last time.
I have a cardboard box.
What's that?
I said it won't be at my cardboard box. I know that.
All right. So, what would you guys like to do? The ball is basically in your court at this point.
We left off at about 4 or 5 in the morning. I think.
Well, assuming sleep and getting rid of my drunken state, drinking silliness. Am I still at stun, Bull?
What's that? No, you can work off the stun when you get some sleep. That's not a problem. You'll get rid of all that overnight. And you had 1 box of overflow, as I recall. Oh, that's right, because you made a friend. Because you drank the Hurl. Yes, the elven boy drank the orc drank the orc drink.
All right.
So yes,
Okay.
We can fast forward to whatever point you guys would like to fast forward to. Let me know
the
when.
The biggest thing is we got to make sure that.
Jeff?
I think there's a little bit of lag.
There might be. Were you saying something, Jeff?
I said, yeah, we should definitely try and get a few hours sleep at least.
Probably a good idea.
We know he's probably not heading out until late morning, early afternoon, so lunchtime probably.
Well, here's the thing. Did we ever establish where he actually worked? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys went and scouted the place.
We did.
It was a office complex in Fort Lewis.
I got a good enough look at him that I should be able to detect an individual on him and find him. So if he heads out into the parking lot to the corporate cars, we should be able to spot him and be able to track him from there.
All right. Yes, yeah, you should have no problem doing that. You got a good look at his astral form. All right, so we will fast forward. Skip to morning. Sun rises. 7, 8. You guys are all probably about an hour out of Fort Lewis. And as I recall,
Yeah, it's probably the closest.
yeah, I think Pileups up northish, as I recall. So it is indeed probably the closest. So it's either way, you guys are all, like I said, give or take hour, maybe a little longer. So you'll need to give yourselves enough time to get out there whenever you want to meet up. Well, so who's got the van? That's the question. And did you guys all stay together?
We're all in the van right now.
Okay, you guys stay together. Okay, that answers the question.
There should be enough room in the back of a Bulldog to just crash out all 3 of us. So
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
be
that's good enough.
I mean, it's not suspicious. 3 L's sleeping in an ice cream truck in the middle. We won't attract any attention.
Of course not.
well, if we go park in a parking garage or something early, then nobody will even know we're there.
Well,
As long as you guys don't snore.
Well, the other nice thing about it is that the ice cream truck actually doesn't have anything in the back. It's just an open area. It's not actually an ice cream truck. It's just decorated that way. Camouflage, as they say.
We should probably just go back to that parking garage near his condo. Crash there. Everyone will have gone to work by then. since it's a wage slave area. Shouldn't be anybody around.
All right, you guys can do that. That's not a problem.
Set our alarm for about 10 o'clock. Head back over there.
And then wait for him to come out.
Yeah, was there a good spot for us to get a view of the parking lot without being ridiculously obtrusive?
I personally didn't get that impression. While we had a vehicle pool, and we saw there was security, we saw there were cameras. If they see us loitering, they're gonna know something's up.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was kind of an office, like an office version of an industrial parkway. So a series.
We can always just astral.
What's that?
We can always just astral travel over there and watch for him astrally.
You can.
Yes, we Cass and I can.
Who's driving the van?
I was previously, but that was mainly because he was unconscious. So if we're going to be astral, then he can drive.
You'll never find your bodies, both figuratively and literally.
Oh yeah, where's the rules for following the silver thread or whatever it is?
No, I'm
well,
kidding. That actually sounds like a good idea.
I'm off till we get back.
All right. Okay. No, that's not a problem. You guys can do that if you want. Find a good spot, not too far away. There's a couple of parking lots. There's a stuffer shack, not too far from the industrial parkway, where you can park the van and look relatively unintrusive for a little while.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, we're just going to kind of overwatch the parking lot then. We got, a 3 or 4 hour window probably, so... We didn't see anything in astral security-wise last night, but is there anything during the day?
Did we look? I thought we scoped out his apartment, not...
Oh, you're right, we didn't, so...
That's a good call.
We'll judiciously look this morning and make sure that they don't have any astral security, even though we didn't spot any visible last night.
There's not much. There's only like 4 or 5 Force 12 spirits patrolling.
Oh, okay.
No big deal.
As long as there's nothing important.
No. There are a couple of spirits patrolling, but they're not that big. They're basically just watchers.
Okay.
And it doesn't look like they're really leaving the grounds. They're basically just kind of there in case somebody trespasses.
Okay. So we'll just watch from outside the grounds.
Okay. Not a problem. There we go. Sorry, I was pulling up a map. Kind of get an idea of where the hell you guys are actually at.
Gotcha.
Oh, God. Okay, Fort Lewis. Down south. For some reason, I was thinking Fort Lewis was up in the northern part of Seattle.
Nope.
Nope, it's down south. Okay. No, that's no problem. I just reorienting myself. Fort Lewis is one of those areas I don't use very often, for some reason. Okay. You guys kind of park there astrally for about an hour. Nobody's got a magic rating of 1, do they?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay, so you can astrally project longer than an hour. That's a good thing. All right, after about an hour, lunchtime rolls around, and you see a number of employees leaving the building. You want to start scanning for the astral signature?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Jason, you have not seen the astral signature.
Yeah, but I want to scan anyway.
All right.
Look for somewhere.
Just to feel useful.
All right, this is going to be an astral perception check, so roll magic plus perception.
Magic plus perception.
Sure, why not?
Sounds legit.
It's kind of like a sensing, but you're just kind of looking to spot things. Jason, you can go ahead and roll as well.
to see if I recognize what I would never recognize. Awesome.
Well, he could have described the aura to you, and you might have a slight chance of picking up the specifics.
Any chance I have to roll dice is fine.
Yes. I mean, you roll like 20 hits or something crazy like that, and you never know.
4 successes.
Stranger things have happened.
And not with me rolling dice, they haven't.
Well, okay. Stranger things have happened from other people.
Fair enough.
All right, so 4 hits from Jeff and 3 hits from Jason. All right, Jason. You see a whole bunch of people. Unfortunately, the description you were given was kind of vague. He was like,
They're all purple.
He's got kind of a bluish-green aura with some headwear, and he looked really calm and at peace because he was asleep. Which, now you've got all these guys that look agitated and, hungry. They've got that orange hungry aura to them. So it doesn't really help you so much. El Jefe, on the other hand, Pomeranian does spot the aura.
Okay.
You recognize the distinct signature. It is a little bit different from when he was sleeping, but again, that's because he's a little more stressed now. He's hungry, and of course, these things affect the aura, and mix in different colors and all that fun stuff.
Okay.
But you do recognize him. He's got his distinctive telltale aura, and you see him getting into one of the black Nissan Lincoln town cars.
Okay.
Along with 2 other gentlemen.
2 other gentlemen.
Yes.
Does he get in the front or the back?
He gets in the back.
Do they get in the front or the back?
They get in the front. One of them is driving. The other one is in the passenger seat.
All right.
So.
Return and update them on the information.
Okay.
Well, I hate to do this to you. I need to take 2 minutes.
Not a problem. We can take 2 minutes. Jason, I'm going to assume that Pomeranian points out the astral aura to you so that you know what you're looking at.
Yes, I hope so.
That's him.
All right.
Bingo.
Jason, make a quick sensing test. Get me 1 hit.
Asking a lot.
I know.
I got you 1.
Okay, since it's been specifically pointed out to you, it's fairly easy to note it and go, okay, I remember that specific aura.
Sweet.
Did you only get 1 hit?
Only 1.
Okay, that's all you need.
1, you get 1.
All right, doesn't give you a whole lot of other information about him, but you've marked him. And we will wait a couple of moments.
So he's got a driver and a handler/bodyguard.
Correct. While we're kind of just chilling, I'm going to go ahead and just so you guys are aware, I kind of showed these to Tony earlier, but this is Bull. Or no, this is Tosh. That's not Bull. What am I thinking? That is Tosh Athic, the Lone Star, Knight Errant detective. One of the contacts you guys will be dealing with. I don't know. I know Christoph took him. I don't think either of you guys took him.
No, I took Chaos and Bull.
All right. There is Bull. This is Maxine, the main bartender at the gold mine. Fun fact: I did a Google image search for Shadowrun orc female, and I swear to God, 99% of the orc females that weren't Warcraft orcs and or porn, because God knows I got plenty of those back. 90% of the orc female art pictures had shortish hair and a half-shaved head. Every single one of them had the exact same hairstyle. I have no idea why. This one at least has the cyberware, so there's kind of an excuse for it.
Apparently there's one orc beauty shop in Seattle.
Yeah, apparently.
Go there, you get the cut.
Yes, apparently the artist couldn't afford multiple hairstyles. But that is Maxine. Did anybody take Mr. Johnson, the female Johnson?
No, I took Bull as
Okay.
my fixer, but I didn't take a Johnson.
So nobody's met her yet. so we won't show you her. You would have seen Maxine at least at the bar when you were there. This is my current placeholder image for Chaos.
Okay.
I've got a couple of friends who've offered to do artwork for him because he doesn't quite look like this. He's a little younger. He's got longer blonde hair, or he's got long blonde hair. He's a little younger, and he's similar to this picture, but he's got like the pointy Gandalf hat. But it's got the stars and moons symbols on it, and he wears a suit that has the symbols on it as well. He's real flashy.
Okay.
And that's Chaos. We were talking the other day about the Knight Errant uniforms.
Ah, okay.
That's
very different.
Yeah, there's a couple of pictures from the various missions that we did. Basically, when we were talking to the artists about doing this, one of my reference images that I said let's do something along these lines was the old Cobra Viper from G.I. Joe. So we got kind of the silver mask and the uniform. They got kind of the Tron lines, and those the red lines can flash, and they can project using speakers. They can project like a siren. So when they're chasing somebody down, they kind of got the flashing and everything going on. It's kind of neat.
Interesting.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. It's also some pretty badass armor. Let's see. And then this is a really cool picture that one of our artists did for missions. It was kind of a little interactive display for the Orc Underground. The escalators there go up to Lordstrom's, and this is basically the tourist highway Orc Underground section near Lordstrom's entrance.
Okay.
And then I've got this, which Tony did not see earlier. So he's back just in time. This is a Google map this was my working Google map for when we were working on Season 4 for locations and stuff. The red line, which actually continues through that purple line, is the current modern day Seattle Transit line. It utilizes parts of the old Seattle Underground, which Jason got to actually go on the tour for, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, my knees do not work, so I was not able to go, and I'm very sad. But the purple line there, the little Nguyen symbol and the little TV symbol, that's kind of right where Lordstrom's is. And then the little fork and knife is the big rhino. And that is basically the open area of the Orc Underground, the tourist highway. Stretches through there. And, of course, those are city blocks. The big blue box at the bottom is the Aztechnology Pyramid. Just to give you... Yes. Or not, I'm sorry, not Aztec. The Renraku Archaeology. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of dumb. But that kind of gives you an idea of scale. Because those are city blocks underneath of it. The archaeology is just ridiculously big. It's one of those things that you can't fathom it. I'm like, when I was doing this map, I actually used the first edition Seattle source book because it actually told you where the boundaries were. And it stretches out over the bay, which is pretty funny. Which I'm not entirely certain that the authors realized when they were doing it. But it's just gigantic. It is so big. It actually extends a little further beyond where I cut the map off at the bottom there. But anyways, so that's kind of gives you an idea of where the Orc Underground is and how big the tourist highway section is. And of course, then there's tunnels and roads, underground roads and everything that just spiral out throughout Seattle.
Okay.
So, all right. Anyways, now that everybody is back and we have looked at all the shiny pictures, oops. Let's go back to here. All right. Okay. Your target, Mr. William Smith, and what you would assume is maybe his two bodyguards or his chauffeurs or something. Hard to say because you didn't ask to sense any of them. before you went back to your body. Their car takes off and starts heading up the road. There's about you're kind of in the city for about 4 or 5 miles before it gets to the highway. And then you're on the highway for, as I recall, it was around 10 miles or so before the highway splits, and there's a couple of different highways that they could take.
Right.
Do you want to wait till they get to the highway to try to ambush them? Do you want to get them before they get on the highway?
Well, first off, I assume these two briefed us, right? Or briefed me?
Yes, Pomeranian Sand, he came back to check in with you, and
Okay.
Cass is keeping an eye on the car.
Were there any other cars that moved out with them? Or is it just a lone car?
There was actually a bunch of cars that were left, but like I said, there was a bunch of employees that came out at the same time. Since it's right around noon, you can assume it's lunchtime. So.
Okay. So the entrance to the freeway, is it still in Fort Lewis?
Yes.
And they're heading to Bellevue?
Yeah, they're gonna they're heading up to the freeway is right on the edge of it's Route 5. It's right on the edge of Fort Lewis and Tacoma. And then they're gonna head up, and then they can if anybody else has a map up, it heads up for a little ways, then it splits off to there's a 512 comes off of it, and then it goes up a little further off and splits up a couple of ways there. So,
I'm not all that anxious to have Fort Lewis security alerted about anything.
No.
Agreed there. Unfortunately, I don't know who patrols this stretch of I-5. Either you guys have any gang contacts?
well, there's the I-5ers.
Well,
Everybody knows them.
just trying to think about how much attention we're going to bring being on a highway, or whether we wait till they're in some more urban-esque area.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we don't want to wait till it gets all the way to Bellevue, because that's going to be even worse.
Bellevue's not going to be much better, that's for sure.
Yeah, Bellevue's quite a ways up, though. They're going to go through Tacoma, and depending on which way they go, they could cut through Auburn and Renton, or cut through downtown to get over to Bellevue. So you got some ways to go. If you want to wait, like I said, I-5 is literally the border of Fort Lewis and Tacoma. And if you wait, like I said, maybe 10, 15 miles, if you can tail them properly, you could probably follow them off, and then they'll turn off and be pretty much either in Tacoma, or they'll be on the border of Tacoma and Puyallup, depending on which way they go.
Either Tacoma or Puyallup would be much better, especially Puyallup if they go there.
Yes. Yeah, if they're dumb enough / brave enough to go through there, definitely.
Well, it's like I said, it's on the edge of the border. It doesn't go directly through Puyallup, but it's kind of
Doesn't matter. Close enough.
the district's edge.
What's your driving like, Chris? Is it better than mine?
2.
3.
Do you actually have piloting?
I have Pilot Groundcraft 2 and Pilot Aircraft 2 with a reaction of 4.
So you've got 6 dice, Jeff?
Exactly the same. So.
Oops.
Good. If one of us gets knocked unconscious or has a bad date, we should be fine then.
You wouldn't know anything about bad dates and or being knocked unconscious, would you?
I'm just saying, plan for the future. Well, that probably also rules out, the crazy first thought I had in my head was maybe cause a slight accident and see if we can divert them. But I don't know if, it's not our van. We'd have to pay full price for it, but.
Yeah, we're keeping it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, probably not a good idea to put dents in the fenders this early. And I don't have any ice cream to throw at him.
Well, if you drive, I can always try control actions on the driver and just get him to pull it over.
That's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, I'm assuming I'm driving already because you guys were actually perceiving. I assume that as soon as they started moving out, I followed.
Yeah, probably your best bet. And you're not 6 dice. You're just following them on the freeway. You probably aren't going to have to do any real fancy driving gymnastics.
Yeah.
So, at least not at the beginning anyways.
All right. Well, I'm good with whatever plan, but I just don't like being out on the exposed freeway. So my vote is we do wait a little bit until we're closer to the poly-up border.
Yeah, if we can control actions to get them off and Gallup, that sounds the best.
That's the plan, unless they head in a different direction, Bolden.
Okay. Give me a sec to chew. I do apologize. I meant to eat a little bit earlier, but I didn't quite get there. I was busy getting a few things set up.
It's not an authentic gaming session unless someone is, chowing down on some stuff. So
that's true. I mean, it really is. I mean, you have to have pizza and a little bit of alcohol, or it's not a good gaming session. I mean, I gamed with Andy a little too long, I think. Shadowrun Scotch Squad represent. Although I'm not drinking scotch because I'm a heathen. And I just decided to drink just straight rocket fuel. Alright. Let's see. Jeff, even or odds?
Odd.
Alright. Yeah, they go up I-5 for a ways. Fortunately, while you do... does anybody have gang knowledge?
That's what I was kind of asking about earlier. I do not.
Well, then never mind.
Nope.
You guys see a couple of bikes go by at one point that look like they might be gang colors, but they could be bikers. They might just be, weekend warrior type guys. You never know. But they don't give you any hassle or don't cause any problems, so they just kind of drive by.
I need business cards.
What's that?
I need ice cream truck business cards. That's just a mental note for later.
Ice cream. Does anybody remember what I called the ice cream truck? Because unfortunately, I do not.
It was good something. It wasn't good humor, but it was good something.
Good smile. That was it. It was good smile. I'll have to hold on. Let me make a note of that. Just because.
I didn't put the name in my notes, but I remember that it was good something.
That was enough to remind me, because I know where I got the name from. Generally speaking, any name or something I come up with has a source. It usually has nothing to do with anything other than just random thought at the time. But there is a source, and it does give me some sort of way to remember things. In this case, Good Smile Company is a company that makes little chibi anime toys. Random. I don't own any, I've never bought any. They're kind of expensive to import, so I've never bothered, but yeah, that's where the name came from. In case anybody was ever wondering how my brain works, that's pretty much it right there. Random crap. Alright. Anyways, you guys head up I-5 for a ways, and then the road does split up. It heads north or heads east onto 512. And they do turn onto 512. 512 is the road that will, after a short amount of time, after about 5 miles or so, bisects, you leave the Fort Lewis area and you're bisecting Puyallup and Tacoma.
Okay.
So you've been following them for about 15 miles now. Christoph, please make me a driving test. Tell me how many hits you get.
Okay.
All of them. All of them.
I'm suddenly going, how much edge do I have again?
Please crit. Or please glitch.
I did not glitch. I did not succeed. It was close.
All right, traffic is getting heavy and you're losing them. Would you like to edge that?
Yeah, it's been a while. What's the rules on that? Just spend an edge to reroll?
If you spend it after the fact, you can do one of two things, primarily. You can either reroll all of your failures, or you can just add your edge attribute and dice, and those dice then explode, if I remember right. Which means that if you roll a 6, you can roll it again for possible additional successes.
So 6 dice or 4 dice with a chance of exploding.
6 dice.
Yeah, I was thinking that. All right, I'm just going to re-roll all 6. 3 hits.
All right. Well, you needed 2, so you are good. All right. Traffic starts getting heavier, and cars are starting to get in your way. But you're like, you have none of it. You're like, nope, screw you guys. And you start doing a little offensive driving and manage to speed up and cut around the cars that are getting your way.
B4 represent.
Without being too obvious that you're following this guy. Which is why you needed 2 hits and not just 1. Because you're trying, you don't want to be like, oh yeah, we're just following you. No. So you,
drive casually.
Yeah, fly casual. So you are now on 512, like I said, and you are now getting into the pile-up area. Directly to your to the south, which as you're driving is going to be on your right side, you can see pile-up. This close to the highway and the edge of the district, it's still relatively civilized. It's not completely destroyed and completely barren, as they say. And then, of course, on your right side, you have Tacoma, which is, it's a decent area. It's kind of middle class, working class area. So a lot of, you can see a lot of homes and stuff on the other side, houses and some apartments and such.
If it's like anything like it is now, we'll just look for a convenient construction spot.
All right.
So would it be walls with poly-up, or is it not that bad yet?
Oh no, it's not walled off. It's not Redmond. Puyallup is more the Barrens because of the volcanic eruption that trashed large portions of it. Less so than because it's just become a complete and utter, gang shithole. I mean, it is a shithole. Don't get me wrong. It is a Barrens area, but when you compare, Redmond and Puyallup, Redmond has definitely got the edge. Redmond's a war zone. Puyallup, at least especially this close to the edge of Puyallup, it's still relatively sane. It's just, more the ghetto. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Hold on.
I just added some notes to the chat.
Okay, where is chat? Chat is not open. Why is chat not... Okay, there it is. You added notes. Note for future, 1 edge... Oh, okay. That's cool. Excellent. All right, you're looking for like a construction site or something, huh?
Construction site, something where they're going to have to slow down, or...
All right, make me... I'll tell you what, make me just a straight edge test and tell me what you get.
Are we all looking, or just him?
He was the one that was asking for it.
Okay.
1 success.
Okay. As a note, if I ask for an edge test, basically it's just my random luck check, and you cannot glitch a luck check. You just fail a luck check.
Okay.
So just for future reference, if I ever ask that to you and you roll 1s, you're not completely boned. The world is not going to blow up. Your edge does not, You got 1 success. You don't see, amazingly enough, there's no real construction through here, although the road is a little rough. It looks like they could use some construction. However, there is a sign for a turnoff going into Puyallup about half a mile ahead.
The one lone off-ramp into Puyallup?
No, there's been several. There are several, but there's one coming up now that you're asking about it.
Okay. Well, you want to hit that and just have him drive off?
I can hit him, or we can control him. I mean, it's your call.
I mean, you want to have... I'll try and control his actions and have him drive off this off-ramp and park, or at least pull over into some alleyway.
What range do you have on
That's
that?
the thought process.
It's line of sight.
Line of sight.
Have we been paying attention if the windows are opaque or not?
The windows are tinted, but they are not completely opaque.
Okay. All right. So I need to get into position, and you do your things because you can't do that on the astral, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it's a physical spell or is it a mana spell?
Let's see.
I thought there was that whole if you're on astral,
Yeah.
you couldn't do things against physical people, and
Oh, yeah. He would have to be actually active. Correct. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, you can cast mana spells on the astral plane, but only if they're actually active as well. So
Right.
he is not. When they were getting in the car, you did not notice. You didn't actually sense any of them, so you're not 100% positive. But you do not think that either of them were a mage.
that's going to come back and bite you a few times, Pomeranian.
That was kind of the law averages with corporates. I mean, corporate mages are not going to be driving schmoes around to deliver data.
Yeah. Do keep in mind, full mages are pretty rare. Although, if you got two professions that a mage is likely to end up in, it's either going to be a Shadowrunner or a corporate security guard. So, yeah, they basically have two real career options. That or
But yeah, either way, I
or 5 nights a week at Vegas, one of the two.
Right. You got to figure the odds are pretty good that they don't have them driving mid-level execs around to deliver stuff. So,
But he could be in the passenger seat.
could be.
All right, Pomeranian.
All right.
We're going to need to first have you make a driving test. You're going to need 2 hits.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, not Pomeranian.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, when did you start driving?
Wrong elf. All you pointy ears look alike.
Racist.
Yes. I'm an orc. Of course I'm
Coming
a
out of your
racist.
cut.
I'm an orc. Of course I'm a racist. All right. Hey, at least none of you are wearing makeup, okay? If you were an elf wearing makeup, Bull would shoot you on sight.
Only if it was looked like a domino mask, I'm
You
sure.
realize now what I'm going to have to put on.
All right. Okay, you are good. You're golden. You zip right around, and it's like you're a Daytona 500. Zoom, zoom. All right, you are up next to them. Pomeranian. You can see the driver.
All right.
You want to cast a spell.
I do.
All right. Let me pull up the... Go ahead and cast, and you are casting control actions.
I am.
Okay.
And it's been a long time. What do I think is going to be a solid force for this?
Give me a second. I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Because it's been a little while for me as well.
Do you want a control thoughts skill to back up your control actions, or would that just get redundant?
Probably redundant. We just wanted to pull over, so.
All right.
Oh, right. I want SR5, not Street Grimoire. It would help if I looked in the right book.
Yeah, that's a main rulebook spell. That one spell out of Street Grimoire.
All right. Well, what you're going to do is basically you need to beat his... Oh, hey, AZ. How you doing? All right. You're going to basically need to... it's a resisted spell, so you need to beat his resistance.
All right.
As this is a control-type spell, I believe all he gets is... let me see. I believe all he gets is the willpower.
Willpower plus any counterspelling that may be on him. I believe.
Yeah. So, unless the other guy in the car is a mage, he's rolling straight willpower to resist.
Still don't know.
Which you still do not know. Yes, correct.
So, do I think that a 3 is going to be fine, or do I want to go higher?
3 is pretty good, because, most people have a maximum of 6 willpower. He is not a dwarf, so he does not have... It is possible he could have 7, and the law of averages say that with 6 dice, you're going to have 2 hits.
Okay.
So, it is up to you if you want to stick with that or not.
The reason I ask is I have the focus concentration.
Right?
So if I cast a force 3, I can sustain it for free.
Oh, nice. Well, Do you think you're going to need to do other things while you're holding this spell?
There's 2 other guys in the car, so probably.
Well, all you really need to do is get him off the road. Once he's off the road, you know.
What's the drain on the spell?
Force -1.
That's not too bad. Keep in mind your spell is limited by your force that you cast it at.
Right.
What force did you want to cast this at?
That's what I'm trying to determine now.
Okay.
I'm just going to go ahead and cast it at a 5.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'd go a little stronger just to get it safe if you need to.
Exactly.
Drain's not too bad.
Do you want to hold on to that with the 3 then?
Yeah, I'll do something else with the focus concentration. I'll use armor or something if I need to.
Okay.
But so we're going to go with a force 5. So what am I rolling?
You are going to be rolling magic plus spellcasting.
Magic plus spellcasting. That would be 11 dice.
Versus his willpower, whatever his willpower is.
Of Mook.
Well, you know, he is a security. He is a security guard, you know. So,
I know.
although he
Is there a bonus? Is there a bonus for all successes? I got 10 out of 11.
Nice. No, there is not a. There is.
Pull your punches. Avoid the drain.
Well, he caps out at 5, so you can only take 5 of those hits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Confusing my systems.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a change. All right, well, you got 5 hits. He did not get 5 hits.
Okay.
He does not even have 5 dice.
Sorry, Bull.
No, it's okay. He is, as you pointed out, he is a security guard. He doesn't have completely crap willpower because, you know, I don't make my mooks completely crap. But he doesn't have 5.
Sure, and frankly, that's what I was kind of hoping on, so.
So go ahead and make your drain test. You need to roll willpower plus your hermetic.
Yes.
Willpower plus logic. And you need 4 hits to resist all the...
Okay.
Basically, every hit less than 4, you get 1 point of drain, 1 point of stun.
Right. And, having realized that after last session, I did adjust my logic up to a 3.
Okay,
So,
that's cool.
looking out for that.
So you're not a complete dense dumbass.
No. Yeah, who was sitting at a 1 and that should be fine.
Shamans can get away with that. Mages can't.
4 successes.
4 was what you needed, so you are golden. You take no drain.
Okay.
The backlash of the spell kind of hits you, and you just shrug it off.
Okay.
I believe to put it as your character would put it. Tee.
If you ever see my character do that, know that he's been kidnapped and is badly needed rescue.
It has been noted for the future.
I'm sorry. Like I said, I picture your character as an 80s mall rat for the most part.
With a very large gun.
And a yippy dog. In her
No,
purse. You don't have the Pomeranian doggy in your purse?
No. They don't do well in, the barrens and all.
I suppose there's that. Okay. So you make it, you successfully cast the spell.
Okay.
And the car suddenly merges over into the off-ramp lane.
Okay.
You can see, through the window, you can see the passenger looking at him making this gesture like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
The guy in the back seat looks a little confused, but he is now in the off-ramp. Tony, since you were next to the car, you need to make another driving test to slow down and merge over 2 lanes into the off-ramp.
Oh, jeez. Well, I guess I was tailing that.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you were up next to the car.
3 successes.
Okay, you needed 2, so you were good. You are actually doing excellent at driving. You are now apparently the...
Shadowrun licensed dice.
Oh, excellent. You're even using those. See, I'm using... Let me see. I don't know how well these will show up in the window. I I don't know if you can see that or not, because unfortunately my camera doesn't focus at that close range.
Yeah, most webcams don't.
My dice have the little orc, have my orc smiley as their
Nice.
6-sided dice. Yeah, a number of years ago, the one dice company, the big one,
Chessex?
Chessex. Yeah, they actually had a machine set up, and they would do custom dice there. You brought them a graphic, and they would actually make the dice.
I remember that.
It was really, really cool. So I got two bricks of 12 made. For my
Bull,
yes. Sorry, I was off
He
topic. Whoa, we
That's
lost.
fine.
Hold on, time out. We lost
Okay,
Jason.
Yeah, he. I think he was taking care of his daughter.
Okay.
Because that's his.
We're back to his
That's
default. His
Yeah.
default. His I'm thinking pose.
He's plotting how to kill us. He's not even the GM.
Well, yes, but he's the line developer, so all he has to do is write a short story in the beginning of the next book that has Kristoff and Pomeranian die horrible deaths.
Hey, that's not canon. Oh wait, it would be canon.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Jason, out of all of us, Jason's the one you don't want to fuck with. I'm sorry. AZ's gone? I'm cussing.
Yes.
Okay, I'm cussing over here. I apologize.
That's okay.
I do not want to be totally vulgar in front of the child.
No, she's out back and cleaning, so you're cool.
All right. Give me a second. Oh, God, that is so strong now. It's kind of, the alcohol also kind of goes to the bottom of the drink. Oh. Wow. Excellent. All right. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm having fun.
It's not that bad. I'm not going to get completely sloshed over here. It would take a lot more than what I'm putting into this to get me drunk. It will, however, make me happy, which is a good thing. Okay. So
Yeah,
they go over into the lane, and you manage to slow down, get over 2 lanes without hitting anybody, which is a good thing because the collision damage in this game sucks. I mean, it would be bad for you. You don't have a high enough pilot.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you don't have a high enough piloting to survive a collision. You would do bad things. You get over 2 lanes, and you follow him off the off-ramp.
And we're just going to look ahead for an alley, a empty parking lot, a abandoned building, anything.
Immediately off the off-ramp, there is a gas station that looks like it has been closed for about 30, 40 years. It's all overgrown with weeds and stuff. And the building itself, no glass or anything. Next to it, there is a stuffer shack that is open and operating. Does not look like the safest stuffer shack to go visit. You figure this is probably the stuffer shack that most of the first run stuffer shack adventures happen at. Where you go in and immediately a gang fight breaks out. Across the street from that, there is a really seedy looking coffin motel that you don't want to stay in unless you bring a gallon of disinfectant with you. Hose down the place before you crawl in.
Maybe behind the coffin motel.
Up to you. Is that where you want to go?
Yeah, we're going to try and pull in behind the coffin motel.
Okay.
Nobody
Well, you're
in
the
there is going to see anything.
And if they do see anything, they're probably not going to say anything.
No.
Yeah, there's a half dozen cars here. None of them look like they're newer than 2060. So all of them look old and beat up. And yeah, you can kind of pull around the parking lot. There's some parking spaces up front, and then there's a parking lot in the back. That's not terribly big. The Coffin Motel itself is 3 stories. Not terribly big, but doesn't need to be big since it's a coffin motel.
Are we compelling them where they're going to stop, or are we just going to assume they're going to stop somewhere and then we ambush them?
No, I'm going to tell them where to stop. So
yeah, he's sustaining the spell at the moment. So
okay. Do we see any? We see the cars and all that, but are there any signs of like intelligent life or even critters around?
There's a dragon, but other than that, no. No,
Oh,
no.
that's all. Okay.
You're sure there's probably some like devil rats and stuff, scurrying around through
Yeah, I'm just trying to make
the
sure that
trash
we're
bins, but no.
okay.
You're close enough to civilization that there's not going to be anything terribly bad here. This is the edge of the pile up barrens, not the heart.
Yeah, but we still got Wi-Fi signal, right?
Yes, it's a little weak, but you've got it.
Okay.
A little staticky, but not enough to start imposing penalties yet.
Yeah, but that also causes, well, at least for me, I don't have much in the way of jamming stuff, so that's a complication. We'll have to be quick, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
All right, so what's the plan?
He is going to unlock all the doors, get out of the car, and lay down in front of the car. I will keep him busy. That means the other two are you guys.
Okay.
Cass, have we been informing you of anything of what we're doing?
That is up to Pomeranian and you. I'm assuming Pomeranian is telling you what's going on since you're reacting as the driver.
Well, yes, but the difference is Cass is astrally following the.
I was assuming Cass was back in his body at this point. That's up to him because you can see the car now, so there's no real necessity to astrally projecting any further. But
Okay.
that is entirely up to you. I apologize. That was my assumption.
Cass, I'm not hearing anything.
Sorry, I'm back in my body.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure we weren't, not tagging you along.
No, once the action starts actually happening, I need to be there.
Okay.
All right, so we'll come out,
Let's.
guns drawn. They're going to call. They're going to hit a panic button, whatever they're going to do. So we're going to have to move quick.
Okay.
Disable the guy in the passenger seat. Grab Smith. Does anybody have restraints?
Okay. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and have you guys roll initiative.
Okay.
Jeff, you say that as you guys are pulling into the parking lot, and the car stops, and the guy opens his door. This is where we're going to roll initiative and have you guys kick it off. Christoph, you stop the van behind them, I'm assuming.
Cheating.
Yep.
Oh, hold on a second, Jay. You're breaking up a
Cast
little bit.
increased reflexes on my. Can I cast increased reflexes before the combat starts?
Yes, since you know you were getting off the off-ramp and you know that he was planning to stop the van. If either of you guys would like to cast a preemptive combat spell, or a buff spell, go ahead. Jeff, you can do it as well, although keep in mind you're at a -2 because you're sustaining at the moment.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Jason, go ahead.
I'm pulling a pistol out of my armpit
Let me
holster.
get it
Okay.
up on my book.
Yeah, Jay, for some reason you are... I'm getting a bad signal to you. You're not connecting well. So, just as a note. Jeff and Tony are fine, but your video's completely cut out and your sound's a little off, so... I may ask
just
you...
started happening in the last 2 minutes.
I may ask you to repeat things if necessary, but that's fine. We should be okay for a moment.
I could restart the browser in a bit.
Alright. We got thing 1 and thing 2. And we've got Will Smith. Will Smith goes first, and on his first action, he summons DJ Jesse Jeff. No. Sorry.
All right, how does initiative work now? This is just straight initiative, so.
It's just straight initiative. You don't have any initiative boosters. It's a D6 plus intuition and reaction.
Okay.
So it's very similar to 3rd edition. 2nd and 3rd edition initiative.
Okay.
And that's for being they've got a boost and stuff, right?
If you have boosts, you'll have extra dice, and you may have a bonus to reaction. You'll roll those. Like I said, it's very much like 3rd edition was.
So are we adding up our totals then, or looking for hits?
You're adding up your totals. Okay. Is anybody above at 25?
I am.
All right, Christoph. What's your initiative? Out of curiosity, what is your guys' initiative? Just so I know what I'm up against. I mean, what's your What's your base dice? And,
8. 8. It's 4 plus 4, so 8 dice.
8 dice.
Reaction plus intuition, right?
No. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Do you have any initiative boosters?
No.
Okay, it's 1d6 plus 8.
Ah. That makes more sense.
Yes. Like I said, it's a lot like second, third edition, where you have a set number of dice you're rolling, and you're adding them to a initiative score.
14.
It's okay, 14.
Well,
Jeff's on 14. Tony's on 14. Sorry, Pomeranian's on 14. Christoph's on 14. Cass?
16.
16. All right, on 25. The guy in the passenger seat kind of looks around like, what the hell is going on? Sees you pulling up behind him and opens the passenger door and sort of rolls out and ducks down behind the passenger door. That's his only action because that is a little complex to do all of that in one go. But he does have what looks to be an SMG in his hands. Okay, on 16, Cass. You are up.
Stun ball.
Oh, nice.
nice.
Okay. Stun ball. Stun ball is a combat spell. So, as I recall, combat spells do not have a default force or a default damage. They are straight hits, if I remember correctly.
Well, this one's direct. So yeah, I'm going spellcasting plus magic against their body plus willpower.
Okay.
And trying to get hits.
All right, go ahead and roll as many hits as you want. What force would you like to cast this at? How big of a bada boom do you want to go?
4.
4, okay. Let's go ahead and roll. Tell me how many hits you get.
4.
Okay. This is a direct combat spell?
Yep.
Okay, so... Oh, no, it's either magic, it's either body or willpower for direct combat
Did I
spells.
read that wrong?
It's either or.
Oh yeah, body or willpower, not hand.
So
sorry.
since it is a stun ball, it is willpower. Which is actually the better one for these guys because their body's probably... At least for the mooks, their body's probably higher than their willpower.
Rock on.
So, mook number 1, this is the guy that's behind the door. So you got 4 hits, you said, or four dice, you said?
Yeah, 4 hits.
4 hits. All right. All right. Thing 1 takes. The spell washes over him, and thing 2, the spell washes over him. And then Will Smith. He's the Fresh Prince, so he's completely unaffected. Yeah, right, he's unaffected. The spell washes out over them, and all of them stagger back. You can see all of them stagger slightly as the spell hits them. So, all right, on 15. Actually, no.
And I just want to point out that 6 successes is my drain roll. Rock on.
Excellent.
Nice.
Okay, on 14s, Jeff and Tony and Thing 2 all go.
What range is the van to their vehicle?
How close did you want to get? It was up to you. You're pulling up. You're pulling up to a stop right now, so you're still driving. Keep in mind.
I want to be probably relatively close. I want to say I want to pull up within a car's length from them.
Okay,
So,
that's fine. You pull up with a car's length from them. You can do one simple action from here because you basically take an action to stop the vehicle.
Yep. I would like to pull out my taser.
Okay. You pull out taser. If you would like, you can also open your door.
Yeah, let's prep that for now. Let's open the door.
Okay. All right, so you pull out your taser and kick your door open. You are ready to go for next turn.
Okay.
And then, Jeff. El Jefe.
Did the stun ball didn't break my control, did it?
It did not.
Okay. So he is now lying on the ground in front of the car?
Yeah, he actually can't. Yeah, basically he doesn't. Well, no, he hasn't gotten out of the car yet.
Okay, so
He stopped the car.
He can get out of the car.
Yeah, on his turn, that is what he's probably going to do, unless he manages to break your control.
Okay.
Because he'll try to resist. He'll try to resist it again on your turn, but
yeah,
or on his turn, but yeah. Chances are real good he's not resisting this because you got 5 hits.
So I'm going to circle the back of the van then and come around to the driver's side.
Okay. So
you're open the back door.
You're opening the back door and climbing out?
Yep.
Okay, you circle around, and you are maintaining mental domination. This guy is your puppet bitch. Okay. On 14, Thing 2. Rolls his resistance test. Struggles inadequately. And then opens the passenger door, or driver's door. Gets out, and walks around to the front of the door, the car, and drops prone. All right. And then on 5, Will Smith cowers in the back seat. All right. We are on to second actions. So, Cass, you are on 6. So you are up first.
Everyone's still standing, right?
Everyone is still standing. You can no longer see Thing 2. He is prone in front of the car, so you can't see him. And you actually can't see Will Smith because he is cowering in the back seat. So he is out of your line of sight. Thing 2 is you can see the top of his head poking up over the top of the passenger side door.
Let's clout him.
What are you doing?
Clout on the one I can see.
I'm sorry, what?
Clout.
Clout. Okay, sorry. For some reason, I kept hearing plow, and that was really making me more than a little disturbed. Is Clout Basics? Clout is Basics book, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. That is an indirect spell, so that is indirect. All right, go ahead and cast it. Spell casting plus magic. This one he gets body plus armor adjusted for the spell's AP. Does Cloud have any AP?
Yes.
AP equal to the force.
AP
okay.
4.
So what you're casting it at force? What force?
5.
Okay. So you're casting it at an AP of 5. Okay. Hi, AZ. Welcome back. Okay, so you're casting at a force 5.
And that sucks.
Alright, he gets his body plus armor minus 5, which will be 7. Okay. Alright, how many hits did you get?
2.
2. Okay. You wallop him with a magical clout. He kind of... You see him kind of like flinch back for a second. Doesn't feel like it really did much to him.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that when I rolled.
Go ahead and make your drain test.
No drain, no.
No drain? Excellent.
No drain.
Alright. The 4s are up. Technically, Tony, Jeff, who's got the higher reaction?
We got 4.
My reaction is a 4.
Alright. Who's
We
got
go
the
simultaneous.
higher intuition?
6.
Alright. Pomeranian, technically you're first.
Okay.
Alright, so you have circled around to the passenger side door. You see Christoph standing there, or ready to get out of the van with a taser in hand. And you can see, poking over the top of the passenger side door, sorta, you don't have a real good line of sight on him because you're on the other side of the car.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of looking diagonal through the opponent's car, the town car, but you can see the Thing 1's head popping out kind of over the door.
Okay.
Thing 2, you still have a mental connection to him through your spell, and you know that he is prone. And Will Smith is ducked down in the back seat, so you can't currently see him.
I will duck down and creep up to the driver's side rear door of the car.
Okay.
Pull it open and point my pistol at Mr. Smith.
Okay. You do that. There is no test involved in that because that's, you don't really need to make a dex check to see you can open the door. No, you're good.
Okay.
All right, you open the door and you can see him get kind of wide-eyed at the sight of the gun. But that was a movement, and that. Do you want to say something?
Get out of the car.
Okay.
Now.
You tell him to get out of the car. Tony, Christoph can go.
Big guy thing 1 is still, or thing 2 is still up?
You can see thing 2. Again, you're, well, at the moment, you're still kind of in the van. You've got the door open. You just saw Pomeranian creep past you. And you can see him. Again, you're kind of right directly behind him, so he's kind of diagonal through the car on the far side of the passenger door, which is open, and he's using it as a shield.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So you don't have a line of sight for a gun or a taser. Well, you have line of sight for a gun, but probably not a taser.
Well, that's why I wanted to pull up close, but you're right. I can't shoot through windows with this thing.
Right. You have an evil thought comes to your mind.
Huh?
Because you're like, what would be street justice right now? If you just ram the back of this car.
However, I would not do that because that means I'd have to pay the premiums.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, that thought pops into your mind. Because you would hit both Thing 1 and Thing 2 doing that.
Yes, it would, but you'll notice I pulled out a taser, not my other weaponry. I'm gonna dive out. I'm gonna dive prone. Ice cream truck should have a pretty high door, so I'm gonna drive prone and see if I can get a line of sight low on Thing 2.
Okay. Well, you can take a movement action, and then you can take a.
Probably need to take aim.
What's the? Go ahead and make a perception test, which is
perception plus
intuition.
Is 4, so that's 10 dice.
Do you have any visual mods?
Goggles? Just low light. I'm an elf.
Okay, low light's not going to really help.
Four successes.
Okay, that is plenty. Yeah, you drop prone. You can see a pair of legs underneath of his car through the tires.
Do I still have a simple action?
You still have a simple action. If you would like to take a shot,
firing at him.
You're going to be at a -4 because you're kind of shooting.
That's okay.
You're kind of shooting between tires and at only a little bit of him. But
it's okay. It's a semi-auto. I'll get more.
Go ahead and it's a semi-auto taser gun.
You betcha.
Which taser gun are you using?
The Yamaha Pulsar.
That thing's semi-automatic?
That's what it said.
Oh, semi-auto. Okay, yeah, never mind. I'm thinking burst fire. Wow. It has been... I'm going to be honest, guys. The last 2 years' worth of conventions, almost all I've done is the card game demos. I haven't actually run Shadowrun since, 5th edition first came out. So I'm a little rusty. And some of the terminology is misfiring in my brain, apparently. I'm thinking you're talking burst fire, and I'm like, how are you burst firing a taser? Is it shooting out multiple, wires?
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Another day.
I mean, you could do that with Stick and Shock, but...
You need to make that happen, Jason. Make that happen.
On it.
Just a chain gun that looks like one of those rubber band shooters.
Oh, even better, Jason. A grenade, and when it goes off, it just shoots off wires in 12 directions.
And it, of course, hits you in that case.
I have people who want to have a grenade with wires, with monofilament wires coming out.
No, that's true.
Finn just yelled from another room because he heard me mention that.
Yeah, that's a terrible plan.
Yes, it is.
Holy crap, was that a terrible
pistols
plan.
Plus what?
It is pistols plus agility.
Okay.
Do you have a smart link on that?
No, it's I should. I've got a data jack, but no, it's pretty bare bones.
Okay.
I didn't have much money. I dumped in skills.
That's fine. That's fine. After the first game session, you guys can do a little shopping.
You said it's at a -4.
Correct.
Can I got 4 hits, so can I spend the second?
Real quick, let's talk about Edge, because I know Jeff hasn't really played 5th edition, and I don't think you've played much 5th edition either.
No, I have not.
Okay, let's talk about Edge real quick.
Okay.
Just so you guys kind of know what your options for Edge are.
Yep.
The big things with Edge that you can do is that before you roll the dice, you can declare you're using Edge.
Okay.
If you do, you add your Edge attribute to your dice pool. And on top of that, it does make the dice explode. Which, again, the dice exploding in 4th, 5th edition means that if you roll a 5, it's a hit. But if you roll a 6, you count it as a hit, and you get to roll that dice a second time. And a 5 or a 6 counts as a hit, and if it's a 6, it continues to go. So theoretically, one die can actually net you multiple hits if you roll well enough and continue to get 6s. So the exploding dice are really useful, but you have to declare that before you roll the dice at all.
Yeah.
And then again, you can also use them after the fact to either just add those dice. So say most of your dice hit, but you still didn't manage to pull off a success. You would then just maybe want to just use your Edge to add extra dice. Or you can use it to reroll all of your failures. You can also use it to negate a glitch. So if you do glitch a test and something bad is about to happen, you can spend a point of Edge to basically go, okay, nothing bad happens.
Okay, well, I didn't declare ahead of time.
Yes.
Which is sad because I got 2 6s and 2 5s.
Okay. Well, it happens, though.
So I would, however, like to spend an Edge to re-roll my failures, which is exactly the same as,
Okay.
So I'm going to spend my second point of Edge this round because woohoo!
And whenever you get shot at, generally speaking, you will roll a reaction test. The reaction test will basically you'll subtract your hits from the reaction test hits. That is your net successes, and that determines what the base damage is.
Well, given that I'm shooting under the car, he can just lift his foot and miss this. So, well, shit, that was no more successes. So yeah, I hit 4 successes, but
that's okay.
That's negated.
That's all right. So. He had absolutely 0 successes. Because he didn't really know you were doing this.
I'm crazy.
And I rolled poorly. So what is the base damage on the Yamaha Pulsar?
7 SE.
Okay, 7S, and it's electrical damage. Ooh, electrical damage is funky. All right, so first off, you're doing 7S as stun damage. It's not serious.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys played long enough to know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you still remember damage codes.
Yep.
Yeah, we can throw another number at the end of it and really bring us back old school.
No, we don't need to go back that long.
No, I do agree with you there. As much as I love the old school, first edition was a little wonky at times. Okay, so you got 4 hits. So basically what that means is, and he got no hits, so you got 4 net hits.
You said it was a -4 modifier, so...
Did you take okay, I'm sorry. -4 means you roll 4 less dice.
That's the mistake I made. Okay, so do you want me to start from scratch?
Go ahead. Go ahead and re-roll.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
And you can spend that Edge again if you want.
I will, because can I... Yeah,
yes.
Let me re-roll.
We're still...
Yeah,
I was going to say, we're still learning, so, it's cool. I hadn't explained all the purposes of Edges, and I forgot that you guys haven't really played a ton of 4th or 5th edition.
2 successes that time.
2 successes. All right. Well, he's still got 0 because I'm not re-rolling for him.
Okay.
So you're good. Was that including the Edge you spent? Because you did spend the Edge.
Yes, that was totally including spending the Edge.
Okay. So you got 2 net hits. So what that does is that takes the 7 power of the weapon, bumps it up to a 9 power because you got 2 nets, which is basically 9 boxes of damage. It is S, so it's stun damage. It's not physical damage.
Uh-huh.
So he now has to resist 9 stun damage.
Last thing I want to ask about real quick, Bull. I have an accuracy rating. How does that figure in?
What is the accuracy rate? What is the accuracy for the gun?
5.
All right, the accuracy is your limit. Almost all tests, except for resistance tests, have a limit. The limit is either determined by the quality of the gear you're using, in which case, like, the accuracy is the limit for your weapon. The force is the limit for the spell casting. In other cases, it'll be your like physical, mental, or social limit.
Okay.
So right now, with a 5 limit, means that you could only count 5 successes total.
Okay, cool.
When you fire that weapon.
Just making sure.
No, that's cool. I'm glad you asked because I forgot to cover that. I like I said, I know that. Again, I know you guys haven't played a whole lot of 4th, 5th, so it's a learning curve.
That's fine. It's the first session.
Okay, elemental damage, electricity. Electrical damage is marked as stun or physical. Can stun and incapacitate the target as well. Secondary effects for these include a -1 dice penalty on all actions and defense tests, but not resistance tests for 1 combat turn, and the initiative score is reduced by 5. Okay, so basically he's going to lose 5 points of armor. So he gets 5 plus. All right, so he gets
Never armor your ankles.
Well, Shadowrun does take into the the whole abstract armor system. So
I know.
all right, you're going to do some stun damage as the electricity jolts through him. Okay, thing 1 is he is still standing, although he is kind of twitching. He loses -5 to his initiative for the next round, and since he was at a 4 initiative right now, that immediately drops him to -1, so he loses his second action. Okay, so he's going to lose his action, and next turn, when he gets an initiative roll, he is still going to be at a -5, which will suck for him, and he's at a -1 to all tests except for damage resistance. So, because he's basically busy, he spends a turn kind of twitching from the electric shock. So thing 1 is twitchy. Thing 2 on 4, or yes, he is on. Oh no, I'm sorry. Thing 1 is not out of actions. Or no, thing 1 is out of actions. Never mind. I'm brain farting. So he's done for the round now. Thing 2 is on the ground in front of the van still. He does not break free from his. Oh, look at that! No, he doesn't break free from his mental domination. I got to roll for show, but I suppose I could spend edge and possibly do it, but they don't have a whole lot of edge to work with. And Will Smith is out of actions. So we are now up to a new initiative phase. So go ahead and roll initiative one more time. So we got a 10, 10, and a 13?
10, 11, and a 13.
10, 11, and 13.
I see.
Oh, okay.
I see. Pomeranian. Do you? Oh.
Oh, okay, yeah, because he got one. No, you rolled a 2.
Yeah, he should have a 12.
You have a 12.
Well, sorry.
So 12.
Yeah, I looked at 1 success and went 11.
Yeah, it took me a second to realize that.
It's all good. Okay. So, on 20, thing 2. Lies on the ground and stays where he's put.
Good.
Cass. On 13, what is your reaction?
Who is visible to me at the moment?
Well, what's your reaction first? Because you are tied with thing 1.
Oh, it is 4.
All right. Thing 1 is first. So, okay. Thing 1 is going to take a shot at you guys. Although, let me think. Christoph is on the ground under the van.
Under the van,
Pomeranian's on
corner.
the other side of the door holding a gun on Will. Cass, you're probably the only one he really has a good line of sight to from where he's at. Although he's got to shoot through a couple of windows.
Are these humans, by the way? I forgot to ask that earlier.
Yes, they are. They're all three of them are human. They are all three human, and the two mooks in suits. They are wearing looks like heavily armored suits of some sort. They look like they're completely native Japanese, and Will Smith is, as I recall right, I believe he was Hispanic, a Hispanic Japanese mix. All right. So he is going to take a shot at you, Jason.
Sure.
With a few minuses. Because he's taken just a little bit of stun damage. You are going to be at a minus... you're going to be at a -3 for your reaction test, but you're going to be at a +2 for cover. So you're at a net -1.
Okay.
Because he's firing a burst fire shot at you. Alright. So what'd you get? We'll go ahead and make me a reaction test.
Four.
Alright. You see him raise the gun and look at you, and you kind of flinch down behind the dashboard, and bullets kind of riddle the windshield. But miss out on you. Yeah, you managed to duck out of the way in time.
We bought the van, guys. Dang it.
Alright, Jason, you're up.
So if he just took a shot at me, I should be able to see him.
Correct.
But I haven't drawn my gun. I don't think I have any quick draw. Nah, so we'll just go with Cloud again.
Alright. But he is at a -1. No, the -1.
I only have one.
Well, he's at more than -1, but his electrical -1 is worn off. He still has stun damage, though. How many did you get?
Only 2.
Well, he only got 1, which means you got 1 net hit. What force
That
did
was
you...
force 4.
Alright, and if I recall right, this will actually do 5 points of damage then, because it does force plus net hits.
Right.
He gets body plus armor. You said force 4?
4 this time, yeah.
So he gets body plus armor -4. Wow, that is terrible. Hold on. Nope, that didn't help any either. All right. Well, he takes. He rolls 3, so he resists 3 points of it. 1 point creeps through. However, he was out 10 boxes of stun out of 11. So that 1 point you did, you see him just slump down behind the passenger door. Thump.
Nice.
So, all right. That was on 13. Pomeranian on 12.
Get in the ice cream truck.
Make me an intimidation test.
Things you only hear in Shadowrun. Get in the ice cream truck.
Do you have intimidation?
Intimidation is intimidation plus
Charisma.
4 successes.
Yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am. Whatever you say, ma'am. He starts climbing out of the car. His hands are kind of holding his hands up, kind of quaking. Okay, yes, hi, anything you want. And he starts heading over towards the van.
Okay.
That was on 12. I'm assuming you're still maintaining your...
Yes.
Did you remember your -2 for sustaining?
I thought he had that thing.
That's okay, we'll fake it for now. Tell you what, spend a point of edge and we'll call it even.
Okay.
There we go. Alright. Yeah, because unfortunately the sustaining does affect other tests as well, not just
Gotcha.
magical tests. Because part of your focus is elsewhere.
Okay.
That was on that. All right, he's on 3 still. Thing 2 on 10 tries to break out. Can't.
I'm on 10. I'm on 10 as well.
Yes, you are. As I recall, but I believe they had a higher reaction than you.
Okay, so it's not every pass. It's minus 10 each time they go through.
What's that?
Never mind. Yeah, he tries to break out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. He tries to break out. He fails. Tony. Chris.
I am going to get up, walk over to Thing 2 as close as I can, and inject the taser into him.
Do I want to know where you're injecting the taser? I mean, is this... Have we suddenly become X-rated? Or are you just kind of, back of the head type of thing?
Aiming for a spot that's non-lethal, yet will still meet the goal of knocking him out.
So you're not inserting it into a weird orifice, and you're not, applying directly to head.
No.
Okay.
Just making sure I've got a nice, clean, buying hits shot.
All right. He is prone, and he cannot defend himself. So we're going to just we're basically going to allow you to do effectively a coup de grace with a taser, and he twitches and shocks a little bit, and then slumps unconscious. All right.
Nice.
And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, lady. As much as Jeff is a sexy bald man with a goatee, he is in game a lady.
And don't forget it.
I'm trying really hard to.
All right, we got to move quickly because they've probably still got backup coming. I don't have restraints with me. I'm thinking we throw those 2 in the coffin motel with about 2 hours of credit on it.
It's up to you guys what you want to do. You tell me.
Even here, that might be a little odd carrying having one guy carry another guy into a coffin motel.
First, look at the area we live in. 2, first look at the area we pulled over in. 2, there's no one actually at these places. They're all camera monitored. 3rd, we just want them locked up so that we can leave.
We'll just put them in the trunk.
It's a all right, fine. We'll take that.
I go drunk. Less colorful, but yeah.
Here, they won't strip the car that fast.
All right, we'll throw them in the trunk.
Please tell me one of you guys have a bug scanner.
I have a bug I have an RFID eraser, but not necessarily a scanner.
I have a rating 2, so if I have to, I can use that and make sure he's not bugged.
Yeah, I just have a tag eraser, so I don't know if that'll help.
I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to avoid any chance of tracing him, because if he's got this valuable headwear,
that's a good
we can't
point.
take it out.
Yep.
And it's possible someone could track him through it, so we just might need to get the job done fast.
And I don't have any jammers.
Overnight, so we need to get him into a Faraday cage or someplace that's going to have no signal.
Do you guys have any hacker contacts who might have that kind of setup?
No, but I'll bet Knight Errant does.
We already hit up Tosh once, didn't we?
Yeah, I did. And plus, I really don't want to drag him to something as obviously illegal as this. I mean, detectives don't generally like that kind of thing, no matter how much you're bribing them.
I've got a street doc contact. He might.
Think that beats anything I got.
Yeah, mine are mostly magic oriented or street knowledge oriented.
So I got my 2 contacts are a street doc or a lieutenant with the Ancients.
They might be good at holding prisoners.
For a gang, the Ancients are pretty sophisticated.
They're both equal contacts, so...
We'd probably have to cut them in a little bit on the payout, though.
Let's try the street doc first, I think.
Sure.
Okay. So you have a street doc.
I have a street doc.
All right. Did you have any info on this guy or anything set for him, or Is he an open
No, I
book?
was going to wait to see if you guys had a thing. He's whatever you want to make him.
All right. I have a street doc I was planning to use for this game, but unfortunately, he's not an appropriate street doc for you. Well, he operates out of the Orc Underground. You wouldn't have him.
We're too far away from the Orc Underground, and that was my initial thought, is if we could hide him somewhere.
You're in Seattle. You're never too far away from the Orc
Well,
Underground.
fair enough.
You are too far away from the main drag, but yeah.
The areas we know.
Okay. Yes, you're probably a little too far from him. All right, we're going to say you have a street doc named Desire. No. Wow.
Dude, roll with this.
I'm not rolling with that. No.
He's Dr. Desire. Well, he could be Dr. Detroit.
As long as he's not Dr. Acula.
Dr. Feelgood. All right. My brain is mush, apparently. Okay, you have a street doc. We're just going to call him Street Doc for now.
Okay.
We'll come up with something a little bit later. Go ahead and you can define him as you want, and we'll roll with it next time.
I'll write him up for you, yeah.
Like I said, I have a street doc in mind that we'll use for other, like if you guys are given a street doc later on, but unfortunately for you, he doesn't apply. Because, like I said, you wouldn't have an Orc Underground street doc contact.
Gotcha.
I was going to use Dr. What? Jay.
Oh,
But, unfortunately...
oh well.
Alright. So, okay, you guys go to your street doc, and we'll just call him Doc Brown for now.
Okay.
Until we get a better name for him. Doc Brown is strictly a placeholder name, and he is not a time traveler.
I was about to say, if it's Doc Brown, he better have a Faraday cage.
He is not a time traveler that you know of.
That breaks one of the cardinal rules of magic.
It's not magic that he's time traveling with.
Great.
Alright. And he's got a clinic here in the Poly-Up, since that's where you have your apartment or whatever is in.
Perfect.
So you would have a local street doc. That makes sense.
Yeah. We'll lock the two guys in the trunk. We'll head out.
All right.
Take a circuitous route to street dock.
Okay. A direct route will take you about 15 minutes. Taking a circuitous route will take you about 25.
Okay.
All right. So you wander down to a street dock.